Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 79 and today we're going to be working on this thing. The new villager-based wheat, carrot, potato and beetroot farm. We built it in the previous episode. As you can see, it's a fairly monstrous farm in the farming module right here. And we're going to try our best to finish it. Now this is going to be a bit of a challenge because we've got to do a lot of villager moving. We've got to do a lot of building. We've got to do a lot of vegetable gathering. We've got to do some item sorting and some item output as well. There's lots of different things that we've got to do in this episode, but I am determined to get this thing all done. But before we start, just to answer some of your comments. Yes, I am going to clear up all of the random chests on the Hermitcraft server and put them into the sorting system. That will happen soon. It's going to take a very long time though. And yes, this thing is off-centered, and yes, I am going to try my best to fix that. It's frustrating me as well. Now the way that I thought I'd do it is by making one of the walls 2 blocks thick. So this side right here is the one that's furthest away, and I'm going to try my best to extend out the wall. But the only thing that I want to try and avoid is having this too wide area of prismarine, because that kind of makes it clear. So I thought I'd replace it with dirt, but that's probably not going to work. So I don't really know what to do. So I thought I would try expanding it regardless. I've added in all of these blocks here, so let's just do the prismarine up at the top. And that's going to wrap around like this, and then we're going to extend out all of the half slabs, and we should have ourselves a fully completed, extended out and centered system. I'm a little bit worried about how this thing looks. Right. Good news is it's now centered. And you can tell it is centered. But also you can see inside and you can see the water is off by 1 block. This is difficult. This is difficult to know. I don't know what to do in this situation here. Maybe I'm going to leave it up to a poll. Would you rather I have it off-center in the base, so this thing is off by 1 block, or I have the double-sided wall? I'll try my best to remember to put the poll up in the top right-hand corner. Please help me. Anyway, regardless of all that, the first thing that we have to do in today's Hermitcraft episode is we need to get all of the water inside all of the areas here, so that all of the soil is hydrated. We are now on episode 79 of Hermitcraft. I've got a whole bunch of diamonds. I feel like I can justify this. The first diamond hoe of the server. Now that we have all of the water on all of our layers, it's time to transform all of them into farmland as well, so that these guys can actually plant things on them. Now there is one thing that I've forgotten in here, and that is lily pads in the water streams. It makes it just a tiny bit more efficient, because then these guys don't fall in the water and get stuck for a little while. I mean, the person that designed this thing has really thought of everything. So I've just given this guy a whole bunch of carrots from the nano farm. Now we are going to punch him out of the minecart. And he should be free to plant. He has a bunch of carrots on him. He should really want to plant them. This is a promising sign. Is that okay? I was gonna say, is that all? You're just gonna plant one? So there we go. This guy is working. He's doing his job. We now have ourselves a farmer. He is farming. He is doing what he is meant to do, and he is placing them in line. So we should begin to see this place fill up eventually, and then he'll start to harvest them and everything like that. This is brilliant news. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's make sure that he's locked in. We don't want him escaping. Come on. In you go, just pushing you along in the water stream, the next brown coat villager. Off we pop. Here he comes. He should go over the edge of the water and instantly be transported off and up and over and into the distance. Let's see. Let's hope that he's actually made the journey correctly. I've had to do some extra bits and pieces with the minecart rail, but he is now on his way, and thank you to everyone who let me know down in the comment section that villagers can control their own minecarts. This guy is now going to push his way all the way over to the farm, which definitely saves me lots of gold. Ah, he's changed his mind though! He's changed his mind! No! Come back! Okay, that's something to be wary of. Blimey. This guy is really getting on my nerves. He so wants to go back home. Oh, no, he's decided he's going in the opposite. Oh, finally, we have managed to get this guy in place. He's probably the most stubborn villager I've ever had to deal with. But despite that, he is now full of potatoes and ready to start planting them. And he's done that relatively quickly. Also, let's check on the progress of this one. Nice. He's doing a really good job. I wonder if he's... Doesn't look like he's thrown any into the center. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe he's replanting everything that he's got. Awesome. But we aren't quite finished with that module. First thing that we've got to do is get ourselves another villager. Right, okay, so he's a black coat. That's perfect. He needs to go in the center, and that's the villager that the other farming villager is going to be targeting. Oh, gosh! I think we might have lost him. I can't believe that's just happened. This is a bit of a sad sight. Oh, that was, yeah. I didn't have any form of lily pad there, so he just fell straight into the water stream and went straight out the item chute. Okay, let's get a replacement real quick. I think I might need to do some serious work on the sorting system because this thing has taken a dump on itself. I think constantly loading and unloading it has, yeah, it's killed it. It's killed it somewhat. And most of my items are stuck within it somewhere. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some serious work on this in maybe the next episode. Can you see him? He's in there, those little legs there, little brown shoes, and then the little white coat. If you're watching in anything under 720p, you probably can't make out a villager, but he's right there, and he is in place. Why are the brown coats always difficult? Look, this guy's even fighting against the powered rail underneath him. Seriously, he really doesn't want to go in this direction, does he? I mean, we're going to have to be careful here as well, because I don't want any zombies to spawn on top of this. Second diamond hoe of the Hermitcraft server, Season 5. There it is. I think this might be the first time I'm actually using this farm, not for the blue dye, but actually for the seeds. According to Nathan Ryan, the creator of this farm, the seeds need to be planted before we let the brown coat villager loose, because otherwise, he won't plant them. Now, he did explain why. I must admit, I've totally forgotten. So once again, as always, you should definitely check out the video. It's so in-depth. This is my second visit. Apparently, these platforms are actually a lot bigger than I remember. I really am curious to know what this guy is doing. He doesn't seem that interested in the wheat at this point in time. He seems to be very interested in the view out of the base, which, you know, I don't blame him. It's a cool looking base. And he's got a third story apartment to check it out. But I would like him to do some work. That would be grand. Right, let's see. Yes! Okay. That's good. Did you see that? So we added in this little thing right here, something that I totally forgot about, and now he is actually throwing in items towards the hungry villager right here. I think it's because he wants to walk up to this one, and when he does that, he spots this guy, and he's like, hey, do you want some food? And throws it in, but he can't catch it, so it goes into the water stream and drops down to the bottom. Yes! Okay. I was getting worried. I wasn't seeing any items down at the bottom. It does, however, seem like this area here is a little bit dark. I think I might have put in some of the sea lanterns a little bit wrong. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, villagers. Never, ever, ever work with villagers. It is the worst thing that you could possibly do in Minecraft. Stop! And after many, many hours, we are finally done with villager moving. This guy right here should be the last one to go into the system, and because that trapdoor is in place, I can't actually move him. Which means that we are going to have to build up this area here, break out his minecart, and hope that he just gets nudged in. This does not seem like a good way to do things. And I really hope he doesn't escape. But thankfully, he seems to have stayed, and he's there. We've done it. And power. Piston has pushed that slab in place, and we are now all good. Good. For you. Now let's hope there's not a lightning storm that turns these guys into witches before we actually get the roof on. We're also beginning to get a fairly healthy pile of items down at the bottom here. Hold on, let me just see. Whoa. That was a lot more than I was expecting. A heck of a lot more than I was expecting. I'm actually going to be I'm going to live off bread. Wait, is bread worse than cooked fish? Now I have to go out and find out where on earth I'm meant to get all these beetroot seeds from. We need enough beetroot seeds to cover the entire farmland area. Oh, I don't even think I've seen any. I forgot that beetroot even existed. Please tell me I'm one of the 10% of villages that actually have beetroot. That would really make my life easy. Yes! That is brilliant. Oh, fantastic. I love it when things work out like that. Now, sadly, by the look of things, the beetroot just doesn't really work in my farming system. So I've had to change it up a little bit, and I'm doing things the old-fashioned way. Right click, click, right click, click. Right click, click. Yeah, you guys get the idea. And by the look of things, we are swiftly going to run out of beetroot seeds again. These platforms, they're bigger than you actually think they are. I don't think there's anything left for me to do on the inside of this thing. I've got all of the beetroot in place. I've got all of the wheat, the carrots and potatoes in place. I've done all of the trapdoors. I've done all the water. I've done all the lighting. We've done it! It's complete! Oh, just as I was about to start recording, it starts raining. I hate recording clips in the rain, but the good news is that this is all complete. We've got the villagers in place, we've got all of the beetroot, we've got all of the wheat, we have the potatoes, and then down at the bottom, we have all of the carrots. This thing is now functioning, and I'm going to have to cross my fingers that this isn't a thunderstorm, because we now need to put the roof above this thing. Finished, complete, done. I'm sure you've heard that about 15 times in today's Hermitcraft episode, but yeah, this project is now all rounded up, at least the farming section of it, and it is looking good, and it is functioning very well. That is 5 minutes worth of resources there. Did we pick up any potatoes? What about beetroot? Did we get any beetroot? Maybe that's still in the process of being planted and harvested and things. Anyway, we need to create some form of system that is going to pick up these items and transport them off into the sorter. But before we do anything like that, we need to make sure that this place is cleared up, because I don't want to have minecart rails traveling around and zigzagging all about my base, and obviously this area here has been pretty heavily vandalized by me making sure that this thing works. So first things first, clear up all this, pick up all the minecart rails, and actually make sure that everything still functions. Now that that's done, time to start creating some water streams. So we have got all of the compressed ice running across like this, and then that's 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is where all of the items are going to be shot through. And you can see already, I've barely placed in any blocks yet, and there's little stacks of items just forming down at the bottom there. I love these things. These things are brilliant. So we have essentially moved our pile of items from over there to over here. That is the current progress that we've made. It is very satisfying to watch though, seeing all of the items shoot out the bottom of the farm and travel through these little ice stream type things. But now we are going to be converting the ice stream into a hopper stream. Much less interesting to watch, but much less likely to crash the server if we unload it. That's how we're going to be doing it for the time being. Of course, I will try my best to make it as lag friendly as possible by covering all of the hoppers with droppers and everything, but we need to take the items across here, over the top of all of these redstone lines, round here, and then into this area over here. Got the wrong side, so we have to go off like that. Now, I am in a bit of a pickle because I know my storage system isn't working right now, but I have loads and loads of items that I need to put into it. I think for the time being, I'm just going to use these temporary chests out here. And then, yeah, in the next episode, we're going to sort out the sorting system and also sort out all of the random chests that I have lying around because, finding items is beginning to get a little bit tricky. Despite our storage system problems, we definitely need some extra wood. I'm fairly certain that I've run out. I mean, I'm not 100% certain. It could be anywhere in my base or somewhere in the hoppers behind all my chests. But as far as I can tell, we don't have any of the wooden stuff, and we're going to need plenty of that to run all of the hopper lines across. 2 stacks of hoppers down, and we have made it to around about this point here. So it winds all the way across here, goes all the way across this area, and then eventually makes its way into the storage system. And I just want to say, I specifically remember when I actually started work on these walkways, building the depth, going down, people were very confused as to what on earth I was doing, because, well, they never thought I was actually going to use them. But this is what it's good for. This is the specific reason why I built these in place, because the drone that I had on Hermitcraft Season 4 didn't have any of that sort of stuff, and that meant that I couldn't connect up anything up in the sky, because it would have looked awful. As a side note, does anyone know what I can use rhubarb for? I'm soon to have a very large quantity of it, and I still have absolutely no idea what it does. One of these days, I will remember that these buttons don't actually activate this door, they activate the flying machine. This button here activates the door. In my own defense, that is a stupid design. Or is it in my own defense? I built it, so I suppose it's defending myself for being stupid by pressing the buttons, but it's also calling myself stupid for designing it that way. Either way, I'm stupid, I think. Almost there. Nearly there. Just trying to watch my step to make sure that I don't stack it into the bottom area down there. Right, okay, there's a bit of a gap here. Ooh, that was close. Dropper. And eventually, the server breathes a sigh of relief, because all of those hoppers have now been covered up, which means that they are going to be generating far less lag than they otherwise would. Oh, I knew it was going to happen at some point. Now, I don't know if I've made a horrible misjudgment with the storage system, but I seem to have somewhat run out of space. I mean, this is the miscellaneous items section, so we don't even have room for beetroot. we don't have room. Huh. That's not good. Oh, we do have a gap here, so beetroot can go in this line. That being said, that is kind of the equivalent of patching up a wound with duct tape. It's a good temporary solution, but you should probably do something better than that. I plan on building a lot more farms than this, and the fact that we filled up all of the available slots in the storage system is a little bit... yeah, it's a little bit disconcerting. I don't know what sort of maths I was doing when I originally worked this out, but clearly I've got it totally wrong. Regardless of that fact, items are now flying through the system and they're making their way into my tiny, puny little storage system, which is totally filled up with items. I'm not bitter about that in the slightest. What on earth was I thinking? I don't understand what I was doing. Anyway, we've got items. They're all flowing in. You can see that they've been backed up for a little while there while I was setting everything up, but now that I've placed in the hopper, it is flowing into the chest, and I'm just quickly going to double check that everything is actually making its way into the tiny, puny, useless storage system that I've built. Oh. Everything is working. All of the items are flowing in, and they are here. Look, you can see we've got the carrots, we've got the potatoes. This one right here is bread, but there's not any bread just yet because bread flows out a little bit slower. Obviously, it requires 3 wheat harvestings to produce 1 piece of bread, which means that that system is a little bit slower than the rest. But there we go. Beetroot and everything. Chuffed to bits. Absolutely chuffed to bits. I, for one, am fairly proud of myself. We have managed to build an absolutely monstrously big farm in just 2 episodes of Hermitcraft, and get it fully connected up to the system, and get the villagers in, and make it look pretty cool, and rebuild some of it to make it centralized, which actually looks a lot better now. Yeah, that looks really good. It's quite difficult to tell that it's actually not central, so all of it has been a great success. I, for one, am very proud. I hope you've enjoyed these past 2 episodes. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.